Last time on the Serpent's Lodge podcast.
Horus is a lot unlike any other legion.
Horus. Mommy and Daddy may not have enough time for you anymore, so it's gonna be split. Doesn't mean we don't love you, fucker. Deep breath in. Okay, let's go over the hot points, which is mainly gonna be the very end. We don't have to go over the Siege of Terra itself, but the long story short,
We should talk about Saturnine. Saturnine was a big one for Sons of Horus.
fair enough.
So we have the Siege of Terra. Saturnine was actually a funny thing.
The Saturnine Gambit.
Yeah, because you had you basically had Abaddon saying, "I'm gonna take a subterranean assault up under this," and the entire time, fucking Dorn is like, "They're gonna attack Saturnine."
As an Imperial Fist fan, this looks so. I love this so much.
If it was me, I'd attack Saturnine, and if I was Perturabo, I'd attack Saturnine.
I love the greatest thought logic in this, where just goddamn, just Dorn's just like exactly that. Hey, I know they're gonna attack here, because if that was me, I would attack here. And I know Perturabo's not smarter than me, so he's gonna attack there.
I love her. But so Dorn comes up with the plan. If I send out defenders to this part, they're going to think that Saturnine is undefended or not as well defended. So they're going to come into Saturnine. But that's going to be the secret, is Saturnine is going to be fucking defended to the max.
Yeah.
And so the whole time, Abaddon's like, haha, they have no idea I'm coming underground.
You fool.
It's subterranean assault.
And that's when they commission good old motherfucking Arkan land. Basically, the only thing you need to know is the Loyalists came up with the greatest idea for giant drills. How do you stop giant drills from digging underground? You just fill the holes with concrete.
Easy.
To the point that there is actually, probably still to this day, a fucking
Traitors trapped up there, yeah.
a drill filled with Sons of Horus that are just stuck in this fucking tube surrounded by
Can you imagine
fucking
being
concrete.
in there for that fucking long and you're just now getting old and you're just like, can we play cards? No.
Bro, in the scene whenever they fucking discover what the fuck happened it's horrifying to a degree, because they're going forward and all of a sudden they stop going forward, and so the captains just go backwards and they're like, we can't get traction, we're stuck, we are completely filled up with concrete. We'll open the hatch. Well, we can't open the hatch because concrete. Well, what do? We sit here and we wait to die, is what the guy said. We just wait to die.
Yeah, that's fucking.
The Astartes could go into their hibernation for the most part, but even then, that's just
10,000 years is
well,
really
10,000 years of being in stasis, and at the same time, your body's going to slowly decay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're not actually in stasis, so you're just basically sleeping and your body's just withering away.
As we know, the oldest continuous space marine has been Dante, right? 1,500 years. Insane. Yeah. That motherfucker's ancient, dude.
Well, that's because that motherfucker stopped drinking blood for like 100 years.
Fair on that. About even Sigismund. So Sigismund, first Black Crusade, which was however fucking long after Siege of Terra. I want to say it was only 200 years. I don't know. Somebody correct me in the comments, whatever the exact date was, but it was not nearly the full 10,000 years. Right.
Yeah.
But that being said, and that's the reason why he lost, was because Abaddon's like, well, he's fucking old. He was very slow.
Yeah, he was an old man.
So very clearly there's some continuous aging that happens with the Astartes. Where's that going to be? Is that 10,000 years? Look what 10,000 years did to a Primarch.
True.
I'm just saying.
It's true.
But
It's true.
so this hits Abaddon hard in the ego, because Abaddon has always been known as this good strategist, almost level to Horus.
Not to mention, during the Gambit, they lost all the Mournival except for Abaddon. Yeah, all
quite
dead.
literally. Fucking Tormageddon dead. Fucking Horus Axeman killed by Garviel Loken. My motherfucking man. I can't remember how Kyber died, but he fucking
Like
died.
a bitch.
He died like a bitch too.
Yeah.
But this hits Abaddon hard, because for like once in what doesn't happen very often, Abaddon loses. And he lost hard, and this sends him almost into a depression to a degree, until fucking, what is it, End of the Death, where he finally fucking snaps out of it and gets the not controlled vibe.
But one of the biggest turning points that Saturnine was because at that point, since Horus was secluding himself, actually very, very hardcore secluding himself, a lot of the Legion was looking to the Mournival for directions, right? They're saying, hey, you guys are essentially leading the entire fucking Legion.
And they're like, we take our orders from Horus. I don't know what you're fucking talking about.
Exactly, but they may do.
So I was looking this up, and apparently Kyber is still alive. 10,000 years later, Kyber is still serving Abaddon, now War Master of Chaos, because this is after he became a possessed Chaos Space Marine when he heard that Fabius Baal had cloned Horus.
Oh,
Kyber went to the Vengeful
Talons
Spirit.
yeah, that's the Talons of Horus.
Kyber went to the Vengeful Spirit and found Abaddon, and all of them went, destroyed the Emperor's Children's city that and the fucking clone of Horus.
We'll get there.
And then Kyber's still alive and well and doing stupid shit.
Maybe it was just like the Mournival.
Yeah.
Well, the original Mournival was entirely dead. Yeah,
I don't know.
Sans Kyber and Abaddon. But the entire point is that leadership was devastated. So Sons of Horus that were still relatively formulated for the most part started relying a lot more on local command for what they did.
They essentially started. Abaddon even said they essentially started turning more and more into
War
bands. They started evolving. He said it was to the point they were devolving almost into the old gangs of Chthonia.
That's usually what happened to all the traitor marines all the traitor legions that lost their Primarch. They've become just fucking war bands. Hell, even not necessarily Death Guard, but World Eaters. They became fucking war bands until Angron comes back, and then they're all
Angron's back.
Hey, Dad's here. All right, cool. Everybody,
Let's go.
Dad, you're back from the store. Did you get the milk and cigarettes?
Smash.
But so then, as Abaddon is standing there, he looks up and he goes, "Oh shit, the Vengeful Spirit's shields are down. Why are the shields down?" I think it's also a good time to talk about the fact that while this is going on, Horus is losing his fucking mind.
Yeah.
Horus is no longer Horus at all. Horus is like a shell of what Horus used to be.
We want to talk about ever since Moloch, he's basically had that chaos power. And even during Siege of Terra, the actual center is described as basically the heart of the warp, the heart of the Immaterium galaxy moved to Terra. And that's where all the psychic bullshit starts happening later on, and it gets all funky wonky. But the entire point is Horus was being even more supercharged. And it was like, the dude was fucking zooted, man. He was gone.
But mentally, he was still in book 1.
Well, exactly, yeah.
Mentally, he was still having conversations with fucking Mercedes Alaton.
Yeah.
And then that's when you finally get the break in, what is it? I think it's Into the Death Volume 1, where he's talking, where he's having the interview with Mercedes Alaton, and he starts talking about, that must be Malakhurst is coming, and it's fucking Argonis, his new equerry coming in.
And he's that Argonis?
Argonis was the equerry.
Because Malakhurst was dead, and that was his previous equerry.
Well, I knew he was dead.
But then fucking Argonis comes in and he's like, Malakhurst is gone.
Dad, he died 10 years ago. You gotta let it go, please.
And he's like, well, it's time for, let me see the plans for this compliance of Zenobia. And he's like, Zenobia, we're on Terra. He's like, he's acting like the dad with dementia that he's like, of course, the Terra. I knew that the whole time.
The real villain all along was dementia.
It was just Alzheimer's.
40K we're dealing with the lion getting Alzheimer's.
Horus is Joe Biden.
But
Jug chip.
The shields are down on the Vengeful Spirit.
Let's take a second also know why that's important, because at that time, obviously, Siege of Terra, they won a beta garment, they got the supplies rushing into Terra, and this is one of the big things. The Loyalists can't win, right, as we talked about before. But that being said, for what the Loyalists on Terra know, which is like Doran, Emperor, all them, as far as they're aware, they're on their own. And they know that sometime, like Russ, Gilliman, the Lion, all that, they're coming up behind, and they're going to bring reinforcements and save Terra. They don't know when, and that's affecting their every move, and they're very quickly running out of options. Now, during this time, Gilliman found the game, hallelujah, and he was sending a message being like, guys, don't do anything really fucking stupid. I'm like 30 minutes out. Fucking give me 30 minutes.
9 hours.
No, like 9 hours.
We're 9 hours. Light your beacon. We are spreading into wide formation.
Now, that was intercepted by the Horus's forces, specifically
by Latara Sarin.
Yeah. So the Loyalists did not know. Now, the traitors knew this, and they basically said, hey, either we fucking do this now or Gilliman arrives and we fucking lose. Because Gilliman had fucking everybody with him. So it was either going to be you're trapped and you're going to be fucking exterminated to a man.
You're now about to be fighting a war on 2 fronts, or we need to finish this.
Or you finish this and then guess what? We already fucking won. So at that point, that's why they lowered the shield. And also they had a secondary kind of time clock going because they were saying, or at least who the fuck was it? It also, who took place after Erebus, the other word bearer? Zardu Layak was saying, hey, Horus is going to die with this much chaos on him. Over time, he is facing death. He needs to fight him pretty soon. He needs to fight the Emperor soon. He's very powerful, but he's basically going to combust into a million pieces if he keeps this going.
Right.
He's a balloon just constantly being full of hot, like
Waiting
the
to
air's
fucking
going
pop.
in, waiting to pop. Hey, fucking do it now. So they lower the shields, and that's whenever finally the Emperor and all of them say, this is our one chance. If we can go up, we can kill Horus, we fucking win. Otherwise, we got, at that point, it was unironically, maybe we got an hour, at most, 1 hour. We've done 7 years of civil war, and it all comes down to this last 1 hour. And then it hurts me because the Gilman message at that point was less time than that. I was like, hey, give us 30 minutes. We'll be there in 30 minutes at that point. So it's like, if you didn't go, it would have been fine, but they didn't know that information, so they fucking went. Stuff could have been so much different.
Well, and the funny thing too was at first Biggie didn't even want. Biggie wanted to go alone. He wanted to go absolutely by himself. No custodians, no Valdor, no fucking Dorn, no nobody. And Sanguinius walks up to him all fucking beat up and battered and is like, "Fuck you, I'm going."
Literally fucking dying, essentially.
And then that's when they have the call to arms where Dorn's like, "Well, fuck you, I'm going." And then Constantine's like, "They're going, I'm going. You already know I'm going. If you're gonna let your sons go and not your fucking your general captain over here, I'm going."
Exactly, yeah. Shawams, quickly.
And so, poof, we teleport onto the Vengeful Spirit.
And
or
shit
so we
breaks
think.
loose, and you see how far Horus fell.
Or so we think.
Or so we know.
Well, I was talking about we're teleporting onto the Vengeful Spirit.
Yeah.
Or so we think.
Yeah.
Because another big thing that happens while this is going on is when they transport
Time completely stops.
on Terra, after the Vengeful Spirit lowers its shields, fucking Materium and Immaterium, the warp and what's real space start merging together. So parts of Terra start becoming parts of the Vengeful Spirit, parts of the Vengeful Spirit start becoming parts of Terra. There's a part where fucking Garviel Loken is with Cinderman, and Cinderman's some kind of archivist, and this person that Cinderman found along the way, and they're in the library looking for basically books on demon. They're in like a secret library in a secret fucking wing of the library, looking at demonology books to try and figure out how to stop demons.
Right.
And all of a sudden a hatchway appears, and fucking Loken tells them to stay there, walks through the hatchway, and sees that he's in fucking Hangar 2 of the Vengeful Spirit.
Oh, shit.
From the library. So real space and the Immaterium start merging together, but the warp causes time to just stop. All the chronometers, all the clocks, all the timepieces, everything just stops at the same time.
They're actually teleporting, right? Basically what Grey Knights and shit would do. Like, they're in a teleportarium.
They basically teleport Homer onto the Vengeful Spirit. Sanguinius, what is it? No. Dorn ends up on a fucking wall in a fucking desert. Basically ends up on a corn planet. He's completely by himself, nothing around him. All it is desert and dead bodies and a wall. And literally all he can do is keep telling himself, I am Rogel Dorn, the 7th Primarch of the 7th Legion, 7th found son, unyielding and defiant. And as he's doing this, there's literally a voice whispering to him. As he's going through his mind, he starts thinking about all he wants to do is fight. All he wants is blood. All he wants is that. And finally he hears whispers. Now, who is the blood for? Just say who the blood is for.
Blood God.
And it gets to the point where he almost says it. And then
he says part of it. He's like, blood for the blood, and then he just stops.
the best part of that book is when he just starts lecturing fucking Korn to death on the fucking... There's a part where he starts losing his mind, and he literally just reverts back to old war manuals, and he literally just... From this time is when the great general this such started the diplomacy of war, and he's literally... The voice just starts getting annoyed as fuck that he's lecturing him. And he literally just lectures the voice to death until finally Dorn's able to break through the fuking wall. And
it's like, all right, I get it. All right, dude, remember that thing you were saying earlier? Blood for what was it? Blood for the blood. What? Yeah, say it. Come on. I really want to hear you say it.
I am Rogel Dorn.
God damn it! All right, get the fuck out now.
I'm done. Get adios.
But what is it? That happens. Fucking Constantine is transported on the Vengeful Spirit.
It's a long story. He is. Except it was, he was on the Vengeful Spirit, but his entire squad had a rough thing, and this shows how far the Vengeful Spirit got corrupted. because this entire book, during that book, he's teleport on, and the second they get there, the combat starts, and they're going like,
Oh, Constantine and them just start fighting demons from the get-go.
and then it's like 5 pages worth of combat, full combat sequences, and then it's 1 second has passed.
60 seconds have passed in the. I think that was the whole fucking
The whole
scene.
thing
for him.
was like
it was
yeah.
64 seconds, and that's when when they found the Sons of Horus and started fighting fucking the Sons of Horus.
I'm like, oh, thank God, this is so much better.
Oh God, Astartes! I know how to fucking kill you guys.
There we go.
But Constantine goes there. The Emperor is transported onto the Vengeful Spirit with his Heteron guard, and oh my God, the fucking horror that they go through.
At this point, the Vengeful Spirit is, we get to see it from a Lula's point of view, right? Because up until Loken, whenever Loken was there and the later Rust attack, the Vengeful Spirit was still pretty much a ship, so to say.
It was still normal.
Weird, still a relatively normal ship. It had a few weird parts, if I'm not mistaken, but it wasn't like it was during Siege of Terra. It was full on corrupted fucking
Full
people.
chaos ship.
Full chaos ship. You're walking on the ground, you realize the ground is just flesh. You hear the wall screaming. All right, but before we forget,
Check out Servo Printer on Etsy. It's our good friend Argonis. He makes these
Motherfucking
awesome
Argonis!
fucking stickers,
Woo!
right? Makes awesome stickers. You can get them holographic. You can get them in matte. Okay. I have some holographic ones. I gave some to Groot. They're freaking awesome as hell. They're all hand painted with watercolors and everything like that. Like phenomenal art pieces. If you use the code The Serpent's Lodge at his store, you'll get 10% off your order. That is dope because you can get a shit ton of stickers for relatively
they're really nice
less.
stickers.
Yeah, they're really good. Step Bro said he was gonna skip out on it because
Fuck off.
He
likes
said he read the
but-
synopsis on the stickers.
No, but yeah, definitely check out our good friend Argonis Servo Printer out on Etsy and use the code Serpent's Lodge to get 10% off your order.
Yeah, show him some love. Everybody loves some good stickers. Show him some love.
Yeah, he's some great. And
Get your favorite Legion. Fucking show. Put them on your fucking
Yeah,
mini
and when
case.
you buy them, join the Discord. Fucking post an image and fucking tag Argonis or
Yeah,
us or anybody.
tag him. Let him know
Yeah.
you bought some stickers. Show him some love. Argonis is an awesome dude in our Discord.
I bought
and
like 15
so
fucking
talented.
stickers. Yeah, I bought 10 World Eaters and 5 Alpha Legion, and I've put those on my toolbox at work. I've put them on my laptop here.
I put them on my work binder.
He's
Hell
got them on
yeah.
his binder, and they're fantastic. They're phenomenal.
His guard literally gets fucking puppeteered to attacking the Emperor.
I'm guessing that didn't go very well for the Terran Guard.
Well, not really.
But it was more along the case of even the Emperor says, Horus knows this won't stop me, except emotionally. Because, reminder, custodians are full on, not only just the all male custodians, as we all know, are
Of
actually
course.
the companionship
But
to the
since
Emperor.
the first
Shut
10,000,
the
there've
fuck-
always been female custodians.
Since
Even though
fucking
there
when?
wasn't one single female custodian at the fucking Siege of Terra for whatever
Yeah.
reason.
They
And
were
in
always
10,000 years
there.
after that, no fucking female custodian has anything worth note.
Sir, 52% of the first 10,000 killed themselves.
But go,
44%. Weren't that lucky?
but I'm going,
So the first 10,000 were only to fucking 4,800.
going on for that. So
Now it all makes sense.
oh shit.
no.
But at that point, basically, so the Emperor was being like, I don't want to kill them. Like, I really don't want to. So he tried to find a way to stop. He finally stops it without killing too
Yeah.
many of the custodians. And a
Yeah,
lot
I
of the
think he
custodians,
killed 2 or 3 of them.
but a few more custodians straight up could not continue after that.
They end up literally just mentally broken
Yeah.
because quite literally the person that you are meant to watch, guard over, protect,
Yeah,
you just
swore
tried
your
to
whole
fucking...
life to.
I know
Yeah.
you gave me life and everything, but hiya!
Well, it was almost like the case of the custodians asking for that because they were saying they weren't directly saying it, but Emperor Mind Scan, fucky wucky. But it was at the point where they are programmed to have the Astartes are hypno indoctrinated with all
Right.
with all their stuff, especially after the Horus Heresy. They did ramp that up severely. But that being said, the custodians are literally just on a biological level will not betray the Emperor, right? That's part of their coding. So whenever some of them attack the Emperor and they realize, holy shit, I did this, even if I was being puppeteered, I'm fucked. And they just destroyed. Mentally, they were gone. And it was a mercy killing. They were pretty much
Yeah,
asking
yeah.
for it, saying,
Because they were on their knees and fucking the Emperor pretty much just comes and fucking mind snaps them.
Yeah.
Essentially just fucking hemorrhages their brain. fucking
instantly
kills them.
painless death. Yeah.
But he did it because they wanted him to, right? Not because he was like, no, you gotta fucking die.
Mutual understanding.
It was kind of a, I know that you're not going to be able to continue. And then fucking Sanguinius just ends up on normal ass vengeful spirit.
This is the oh god, we're at the hard part now. So at this point,
No,
Horus
not
is
the
finally,
goodest
I
boy.
guess we could say, activated in combat mode. There's a few things he did which we need to take note of. Is his first course of action was try to corrupt those that he knew were coming against him, which is funny because they didn't even know Sanguinius was coming until the time of. Horus already had the thrones for these figures prepared, despite it not being known yet. So obviously the warp knew who was coming. So you had his throne in the middle, but then you had basically 4 other thrones, which you had basically were mono-god aligned, and it was for different people, right? So he was going to give Valador the Tzeentch chair. He was going to give the Khorne chair to Dorne. He was going to give the Nurgle chair to Sanguinius, and he's going to give the Emperor the Slaanesh chair.
Oh Lord, that's fucked
Well,
up.
it was an interesting idea because obviously we're looking at this, and I think a lot of people would be like, "None of this makes any sense. Why are they
It
there?"
actually does,
Well, it
because
does,
whenever it's explained, he was giving Valdor the gift of change from change from the mundane, the lifestyle that he was gifted. Dorn, he was giving him the gift of not having to be the strategist, to be the fighter that he wanted to be. He was giving Sanguinius the gift of life, is why he chose Nurgle, because he knew that Sanguinius was hurt, and he knew that Sanguinius was dying. And then he gifted fucking Big E Slaanesh so that he could basically live in the excess and the pleasure of his memories.
Because for Big E's entire life, it's always been working towards this one plan, right?
Right.
Hey, I get sick of my 9 to 5. This man's been working for essentially 40,000 years, including BC time, right? All this stuff.
Pleasure to enjoy himself
Yes,
and not have to work towards the great plan anymore.
You can put down your struggles. You can just vacation in Cancun.
Enjoy. Go to Amsterdam for a
Fucking
little bit.
retire already. God damn. That's,
No shit.
that's what's being said. But
That makes sense.
he does an entire monologue with Sanguinius and saying, "Chair, you look past the chair a little bit.
You want a chair?
You want to come over here? Want to come over here?"
Have a seat. He gave him the Chris Hansen.
Hey, give me
Just-
the like, hey, have a seat. So about those wings, obviously Sanguinius says no. The fight continues. The biggest thing to note about the fight is that Sanguinius is fighting for his fucking life, but he's technically on his scale he's winning. He's actually damaging Horus. I cut your Achilles tendon. I fucking stabbed you here. I stabbed you there. Yada yada. He's doing good.
On Horus's end,
Yeah.
however, he is just playing with him.
Horus, when you hear Horus' side, you're thinking of like the Thinker statue. We're just sitting here,
Yeah.
and that's sort of basically what Horus's body may be moving, but he's just mentally thinking this. He's not even trying to kill Sanguinius. He's not really fucking attempting it.
Until finally Sanguinius knows that the only way that he can win is to try and create an opening. And then to do that, he understands that he has to hit a certain level of rage in Horus so that he'll start making mistakes. And he does that. He ends up making Horus pretty pissed off just by, because he's basically hitting him with the, oh, well, I go through pokey a couple of times and then I fly away. And then I go through and I pokey a couple of times and I fly away. Well, then Horus realizes, wait a second, I'm fucking Horus. I have the powers of the warp. He's trying to turn this into a 4-dimensional fight. He was like, but I have the power of the warp. I have infinite number of fucking dimensions that I can fight this war in. And Sanguinius tries to fly away and he steps into the 88th degree of fucking dimension of space somehow and basically sidesteps and grabs Sanguinius by the fucking leg and just slams him down on the fucking ground.
That's fucking nuts.
Basically, savagely just beat Sanguinius to death.
And that's literally towards the end just takes Worldbreaker and fucking repeatedly just smashes fucking Sanguinius over the fucking face with it and fucking takes him and throws him.
It's important to note, like we've said before, hey, the body and the soul are 2 aspects of corruption. And things were said were basically, hey, we can't just destroy all of Terra because we have to kill the Emperor body and soul. If you just kill the body, the soul remains, is still an issue for chaos. That's one of the reasons they didn't just try to exterminate us. Was because, hey, partially it's shielded, but the other part also, like, if we just blow up Terra, the Emperor's body may die, but he's going to come on back, and that's still going to be an issue. Right? So we want to eliminate this entirely, so for the Emperor, as well as for Horus, due to the fucking chaos voodoo, was he had to be killed both body and spirit. And so Sanguinius was fighting a losing battle from the get-go, I hate to say it, but that's what it was, because again, Sanguinius would go around and be like, oh, I stabbed you in the heart, I fucking slashed your Achilles tendon, I did all this stuff, and Horus didn't give a shit, because at that point, he was a basically a being of the warp.
It wasn't really bothering him or anything.
Exactly. And then rest in peace, fabulous Hawk Boy. And then he got crucified.
Yeah, and then he literally gets crucified. So
Well, there were a few different interpretations. Because one of the guys saw him crucified, one of the other guys saw him slumped, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so, but it was like a weird it wasn't on a cross crucified. He was literally just like nailed to the fucking wall, one of those fucking insects with the fucking wings splayed out and all that.
Yeah.
I guess, should we talk about the Dark King a little
I
bit?
wouldn't, because it doesn't pertain to Horus.
But it kind of pertains to, so we'll touch on it.
Okay.
Emperor, long story short, becomes the 5th Chaos God, realizes that that's probably a fucking bad idea. He comes back out of it, ends up basically giving his party a long rest, using his magic, fucking restores their HP and everything. But they notice that as he's doing that,
Wowee, Biggie, it's me, your friend, John Grammaticus. Hey here. I'm just here to hit my save point. I see you're kind of fucked up right now.
if you're doing this, you better fucking zoom in on John Grammaticus in the
Yeah,
background.
I think it's like Dreadanon on YouTube. It fucking does that shit with John Grammaticus. It's funny as fuck.
But as he's doing this, he notices one of them notices that it was the Emperor basically giving them a piece of himself, and the piece of himself that he gives is quite literally his emotion.
Yep.
He gives him all of his loving, caring, any kind of empathy that the Emperor had, because he knew that if he went in there to see Horus and he had any bit of his empathy left, it would slow him. It would stop him.
If I'm
He
not
would hesitate.
mistaken, does he give it to him or does he shoot it off into the stars?
I thought he gave it to
No, I
him
thought-
whenever he healed him.
I thought he shot it off into the stars because that kind of confirms the Star Child theory.
It could have been. I thought
I know for a fact whether it was that piece or a different piece or something else.
it might have been a different piece. I'm
Yeah.
not entirely sure. Let us know in the comments.
It's been a second. Long story
It's-
short, Star Child theory confirmed. Go
I'm
from
not
there.
at the Siege of Terra, so I don't
It's been
fucking-
it's been 2 days since I've been at that part of the book. So
Fair on that.
So Horus has now killed Sanguinius, and now shortly after, Biggie, Leetu, Garviel Loken, and his one fucking Heteron card that he has left walk in.
sounds like the beginning
I
of a
actually
joke.
don't want to cover the battle too much aside from brief overview, just because we can't accurately summarize it.
I can't.
We can't.
No, there's not words. So basically, long story short, they start fighting. They start slugging it out. But at the same time they're slugging it out, they have multiple fights on Davin, Istvan, Ulanor, Cathonia, Beta Garment. They have fights basically all over the universe. And the whole time while there's fights going on all around the universe, these guys are having a fucking Magic the Gathering goddamn commander match.
With the tarot cards and all this other stuff. And see, this should be reserved for a different episode. But the sheer amount of foreshadowing and also lore implications from the shit that happens is fucking insane.
And something that I've also noticed is if you listen really closely, especially to the second, if you don't like second person fucking narration, you're not gonna like this fucking, you're not gonna like the end of the death. But if you notice while it's talking about you, all the things that you're supposed to be noticing as Horus, if you listen really closely, you can hear, you can almost make out certain chaos gods are almost speaking through his mind. You notice he's talking about, oh, the Emperor should be relishing in this. He should be divine in this. He should be in excess about, and it's Slanesh. Or you can hear him talking about change and his intelligence and his strategy. Tzeentch.
Yeah.
Or you can talk about war and his prowess as a warrior, and all you see is blood and it's corn. I didn't really see too much of Nurgle, but it's probably in there.
He's munching on some chips. That's why he's not speaking.
It's
But
the
now,
urge for Taco Bell.
Here we go.
That's what
He's over there doing mukbang videos.
Oh god.
Yeah, he's reenacting Skibbity Toilet.
But not sure
Reenacting
if you're at this
Chris
part. I'm not sure if you're at this part yet. But also the Chaos Gods themselves, because at this point the entire Terra, which is also now the center of the warp, is basically getting all the dimensions are basically merging in a sort of way.
There, it's at the point where he can Horus is kind of. I've just passed the Magic the Gathering fight.
Yeah.
You can see. Are you talking about where you can actually see the Chaos Gods?
Yeah, where they actually show up in person.
Yeah. I haven't gotten where they actually show up. They're still kind of on the wall that are like, but Horus is just now like noticed. Oh shit, there's 4.
Oh no, there's the thing, and this is one of the biggest things about, like, first of all, when we're talking about Horus, at this point, Horus is not Horus. Horus is like just the 4 Chaos Gods. Like, it's fucking chaos embodied
Yeah,
in everything.
He's
man.
a big old meat puppet right
Yeah,
now.
because you have the actual gods themselves And they're not just like on the wall or anything else, like actually show up. And they're so big that you only see the bottom of their feet. Everything else is just shrouded because they go so far high up.
Yeah.
And they're actively watching the Emperor and Horus duel. And during this time, somebody gets fucking tossed at the feet of Tzeentch and fucking you just hear screaming, which is fucking horrible. Like knocked out of the battle, who's not obviously Horus the Emperor. And they land at the feet of fucking Tzeentch, and then it just kind of enveloped in fucking darkness and just like screams.
That's crazy as fuck, man.
Yeah, they're talking about the battle. Litu can't keep up with him. He's trying to run after him, but he notices that every time he gets to the point where he saw them at, there's just fucking smashed wall and shit. Garviel is at the point where he's in the actual throne room with Malkador. He sees Malkador on fire and everything, and then he sees like shadows dancing on the wall. But he realizes, oh shit, that's fucking. He can hear the sound of the sword and the sound of the ball, and he sees like shadows in the fire of them fighting. So I don't think I've gotten to Chaos Gods being present.
But
yet.
it gets fucking psycho. But the main deal is, as it's going on, it's like everything combined. They're fighting physically, immaterially. They're fighting across different planes, universes, everything else. It gets fucking nuts. But
it gets hard to keep up with.
It gets very hard to keep up with. But the end, we finally come to the point where Horus dies. And I gotta be honest, there's nothing special I want to say about that.
Yeah.
That wasn't special, but it's just to avoid the over dramatization of the event. Just
keep with the old one where Horus literally gets fucking soul punched out of his body, and Horus dies.
Horus dies.
Body and soul.
Yeah, I was like, he didn't just die. Like, he died.
So now that we've hit Horus is dead, we've hit now at Sons of Horus going, oh shit, Horus is dead.
Now we're gonna have to delve into the Legion Wars.
We have to get the body.
Yeah. At this point, basically the Loyalists, very quickly, now that real space is kind of establishing itself, like, oh, we're actually on a ship above Terra when you get back to Terra, they fucking go and drag up the Emperor's body. Dorn shows up. They grab Varys Mantis' skull, all this stuff, and they fucking jet. Okay, out of there. At that point, then what happens is that in a mass retreat order is called, because everybody's like, oh, we're fucking fucked up here.
Oh shit, Horus is dead, run!
Yeah, we actually don't see this. We're the book kind because we don't get to see them actually leaving Terra. We just know they start making the way to basically jettison. But apparently, the Sons of Horus retrieved Horus's body. To keep this simple, the scouring happens. All the traitors are pushed back into the warp. Okay, they have mainly the Eye of Terror. At this point, all the traitor legions are kind of their new homes in various locations.
Right.
But one of the big things is they're trying to establish themselves. And a lot of fighting breaks out between the traitor legions, okay? This is affectionately known as the Legion Wars, because it's all these traitor space marines that are fighting each other. Basically, this is my planet, no, your planet. Well, who are you following? Who's my boss? Who's your boss? They're figuring that shit out. During this point...
Is that where my Centuries of War thanks to the Emperor's Children is?
It was mainly the Emperor's Children who were technically winning the Legion Wars. All in all, was actually the Emperor's Children. But during that time, the Sons of Horus very much split up and started doing their own fucking shtick. Now, those who stayed as a legion went to Lupercalia, and that was the name of that should have been, I think was the name.
Malayam.
Was it Malayam?
That's where they took Horus to?
Yeah. Well, the Emperor's Children or Sons
of Horus.
Okay.
Took him to Malayam.
It was Malayam. Yeah, it was probably called like the Lupercalian Citadel or something like that.
Where he ironically became the real corpse god.
Yeah.
He was actually dead, but there were still Sons of Horus that actually liked him almost.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
There were a lot of them that said, fuck that, I refuse to bow to another entity.
Yeah. And a lot of Sons of Horus felt very scorned after this because they're one of the few legions without a father, right? Because total traitor dead, we had Horus, Alfarius, but they still had Omegon, so they still had a Primarch. And that was fucking it.
I mean, if you want to count the demon Primarchs.
Not really, no. I'm still there, but not there.
Yeah, Kurz was dead. Fucking Perturabo, is he a demon Primarch now?
That's up for debates. We'll find out when he releases.
Yeah.
They'll probably release him as a demon Primarch.
We'll find
some kind of demon in.
It would have to be. It's fucking been a while.
But anyways, the point is that the majority of Sons of Horus went their own way and went full, like, for the legions, doing warband type shit, and there's like center left of Sons of Horus, and it was getting dwindled down over the Legion Wars. Until finally a massive strike, led by Fabius Bile, of the Emperor's Children went in and annihilated the rest of the Sons of Horus, like gone.
Fucking fabulous Bill.
I did sold the corpse, yeah. At this point, it's important to note, and while we got more time left in the episode, this right here, as of this moment, Sons of Horus are dead. There is no continuation. There's no anything else. The Luna Wolves and then Sons of Horus, they're done. At this point, there was no...
Now the Sons of Horus become the Black Legion.
No, they do not. That's not how that works. No. And this is one of the important quips we're going to go into. Actually, I'm going to save this until after we get done with Fabius Bile. But, yeah, at this moment, Sons of Horus are dead.
That was about where all that he becomes, and then...
So, Sons of Horus are dead. No longer. Now, it was Abaddon's call, wasn't it?
That was... Well, it was very much unofficial, but Abaddon being, I guess we could say, the ranking officer...
Right.
So Bert actually said, hey, we're no more.
Yeah.
But in his place is the Black Legion.
Yeah.
So long story short, fucking Abaddon basically went around and did the entire, you son of a bitch, I'm in, with different fucking people.
Yeah.
He got his retinue that was comprised of like Empress Children, a fucking World Eater, a Plague Marine, a fucking Thousand Sons, like everybody, a compilation of people from different legions.
And then good old Falcus Kyber.
And good old Falcus Kyber's one of them.
Basically became chaos undivided. We're not worshiping one god. We're going to worship.
No, they didn't.
Abaddon still Abaddon throughout maintains his control, not controlled.
Right.
I will use chaos when I need to, but other than that, I will not become like Horus.
Well, real quick, let's put a pin in that. Let's finish this because that's whenever that big discussion needs to happen. But Abaddon with his retinue goes over there. They crash a fucking ship in there. Like, in the business, we call this foreshadowing of Cadia. They crash a ship into the Emperor's Children fucking homeworld at the moment.
Yeah.
At that point, Fabius Bile starts fucking fleeing from the apocalyptic metal asteroid. He gets boarded by Abaddon, and they find out that, hey, Fulgrim's been trying to clone all the Primarchs. And it seems like the only success he's had so far has been Horus.
So, did they explain why he's been trying to clone the Primarch?
Because he's a mad fucking genius / idiot. Yeah, the actual reason was because if he could go and bring back all the Primarchs as they were, Mortarion, Magnus, Horus, if he creates them, he's in control of them. But these new clones will be able to unite that legion under them. And they report to Fabius.
Oh,
so it got him at the chief.
He'd be the top of the food chain.
Yeah, he'd be top guy.
Okay.
That was his plan, and to be fair, it would have worked. Because whenever people saw Horus, even if they weren't like, Horus, because that was effectively, for the most part, only Abaddon, they were just kind of, this fucking Horus. What do we do here? It's kind of got really awkward for them really quick.
So he cloned Horus, but it wasn't Horus in the sense of Primarch Horus.
Biologically, it was 100% Primarch Horus. Like corruption, it was Horus.
So it had like skills, abilities, strength,
yes,
fucking
100%.
Speed.
Every single thing, like to a T.
Kind of Fulgrim clone. It's a completely uncorrupted clone of Fulgrim.
Yeah, the entire key was the soul was very obviously different.
Horus.
Yeah, not Horus, but it's a new soul created because of creation of life, right?
Right.
That being said, Abaddon eventually goes around and kills Horus.
How, though? That's what I'm saying.
Well, Horus was unarmored, effectively, and Abaddon was really fucking angry.
I was gonna say, because even as an unarmored Primarch should still be able to
it's assumed that, first of all, in the actual terms of combat, Neo Horus, was very much untrained, very much unskilled, very much everything else, and he was unarmored. He only had a giant fucking maul, similar like OG Horus.
I thought he knew because Abaddon had the claw.
Oh, yeah, Abaddon had the talons of Horus.
Yeah, he had the talons. Fucking, I think the dude had, the Neo Horus had Worldbreaker.
Yes, he did. You're right. Yes. But that being said, eventually, Abaddon kills Horus. And at that point, fucking pulls a Team Rocket, leaves.
Didn't he like him on the fucking claws?
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
kind of his thing, isn't
That's
it?
why the book is called Talons of Horus.
But that being said, he then finally ended up with his retinue, and he establishes the Black Legion. Few important things we have to go on. Okay, like I said before, explicitly by Abaddon, this is not a continuation of Sons of Horus. Okay, it's not like, oh, Imperial Fist 30k traced to Imperial Fist 40k, or same for anybody else.
Sons of Horus 2.
Sons of Horus, gene seed, organization, culture, everything else, it is gone. The Black Legion is not the Sons of Horus.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
We're playing footsies with our crops.
Oh, okay. I was wondering. That's it. No. With that being said, that's what we basically found out, is that this is entirely new. Because during the Legion Wars, they all got preoccupied with their own shit. All the traitors, okay? Doing stuff in the warp, Magnus doing stuff in the warp, Erebus who fucking knows, Lord who fucking knows. All these big honcho figures were no longer saying, Grr, Imperium. They were saying, ooh, Chaos Gods, what hole do you want me to tickle today? Hell, let's go over and do that. That's what they were fucking doing, or they were kind of themselves. Yeah.
So where does Huron Blackheart come into all this?
He's recent.
Because I thought he
like 39-9 type shit.
Oh, because I thought he was part of the Black
Isn't
Legion.
this whole
and all that
Talons
shit.
of Horus thing where he finally fucking announces himself as War Master?
He never announced himself as War Master. That's one thing I know.
So-
They call him the War Master.
No, because he goes into it. Black Legion is founded, first of all, on that Horus was weak.
Right.
And what he ended up being a slave to the gods. Abaddon views chaos more along the lines of useful tool. Okay. Got the Batman utility belt. If you need some shit, you pull out from there. They are useful. They should be venerated, but they should not be served.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, because you are literal chaos gods, you'll get your worship. Okay. You deserve that as gods.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm not going to be a slave to you like was.
Yeah.
So it was very much a entire like pragmatical shift of mind when it comes to dealing with chaos. Yeah.
Abaddon never considered himself the War Master. He didn't even want be even known
That
close
comes
to
later.
anything that with fucking Horus.
But correct, yeah. At least
That's what he was.
for the
alluding
time
to.
being in 30K.
Nope.
Recently, it was only recent.
Says right here, after smashing the Emperor's Children fortress and killing the clone of Horus, Abaddon declared himself the rightful successor of the War Master.
Yeah,
The
so
successor of
not
the War Master.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
okay.
That's why he took on the name the Despoiler, because he didn't want the title of
Actually,
War Master.
that name was given to him in fucking
That was
Into the Death.
well, it was given to him. He didn't take it up.
No,
He did not end up taking the actual title of War Master until after the 13th Black Crusade.
because it was
Yeah.
pulled as a tarot card.
Yeah.
And then, what is it? Fucking Constantine Valdor is sitting there fighting Abaddon, and he stabs him with the Apollonian spear and sees
What's going to happen?
Sees basically everything that happens, and he calls him. He looks at him and calls him. First, he calls him traitor, and then he calls him no. He like you're below that. He said and then he calls him despoiler.
Roll credits.
You despoil things.
Now, during this time, the black armor came from basically mourning of what was lost. The Black Legion is centered around the idea of war with Imperium. Okay. Death Guard, World Eaters, Emperor's Children, pretty much all the others too. They are focused on their own circles. Okay. No longer engaged with the hard fighting against the Imperium, but it's not because we want to bring down the Imperium. It's because you guys have shiny stuff. We want shiny stuff, right? Or like we're expanding our own empire and the Imperium's a thing, but it's not a strictly just for the sake of killing the Imperium activity. Okay.
Yeah.
That does happen, but that's not like primary motivating force. Black Legion's entire ethos is we are going to finish what Horus started, except we're going to do this the correct way. Also, similar reason why they have the Eye of Horus, right? It's not necessarily a symbol of honor, stuff like that, or why they use it, is because so we can remember our failure whenever we go forward and do this the correct way.
Right.
Yeah. So their entire legion's culture is marked by the thing of whoever the fuck wants to join, no matter what your god allegiance is, no matter what your traitor legion is, whether you're a loyalist Astartes coming on over to our side, we're just here to fuck up the Imperium. That's all we're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that pretty much it for the Horus Sons of the
Oh,
We have
no.
one more big one.
No, we have
Oh.
you.
Yeah. Wasn't sure if we had gotten
Yeah.
into the 40K aspect of it yet,
There
or
was
we're still in
something-
the 30.
I
Yes
do,
and no.
something I need to mention. Okay. He has this retinue. Okay. By the way, Iskandar Kaon, which is currently on Terra, held in a captive cell. He has fucking Kyber. He has a few other guys. But one of the most interesting ones is somebody called Moriana. So during his travels, Iskandar Kaon, the T-Sons guy, meets up with his crone, and basically she ends up being recruited to Abaddon's cause. And she's a very powerful seer whenever it comes to foretelling the future, what you need to do, shit like that. Here's the deal. Do you remember anybody else named Moriana? Is it okay if, actually, no, you're probably not at that part yet.
Saying like I
Hold
don't
on.
know.
Wait a second.
Not at that. bucket
I know
yet
you
yet,
are,
so
yeah.
Still need to finish.
Is that fucking Cat? Is that fucking Cyrene? It is Cyrene.
Presumably, yes. Now, it's not confirmed because, long story short, there's a few different theories.
Because her name is Katerina Moriana.
Yes, but also one of the chosen of Malkador is also called Moriana. So whether that's
Oh, Moriana Mauhausen.
well,
Yeah.
it could be, but it's either Moriana Malhausen, one of the Malkador's chosen, or it is Cyrene, who took on the name Moriana after she merges with Cat.
Cyrene. That name sounds really.
It's the,
The
word
Blessed
bearers lady, yeah.
Blessed Lady
The,
from. Was it from
the first
Outcast
heretic.
Dead? Oh, First Heretic.
Yeah. remember the girl that fucking Monarchia happens and she ends up blind?
Yeah,
Argyle
she
was
goes to
really
that
tied with-
fucking
yeah.
planet. And she immediately gets attacked by some dudes, and they fucking like
Killer, yeah. And then she comes back.
Well, no, they don't kill her. She fucking
I thought she got killed by the Custodies.
Oh, it was
because she does almost kind of
Because
like
when Argyle Tall turns full fucking demon Gal Vorback and fucking like all the Custodies and takes that broken piece of fucking
was
Guardian
badass.
Spear.
yeah.
But long story short, there's three main theories about where she came from. She's either the Malcador's person. She's either Cyrene, because they're both called Moriana.
Yeah.
Rumored that she was once a handmaiden.
Yeah, she shows up a decent bit, despite being who she is, which is interesting. But one of the cool things about her is that she also actually helps fucking Saint Celestine and the Grey Knight in the Rising Storm to bring back Gilliman.
No shit.
Yeah. What is the thing at? We don't know, but she's also like personal seer to Abaddon. She's an insanely influential character and nobody's fucking heard of her.
Yeah. Interesting that she would be even remotely associated with Abaddon.
Well, it's interesting because when she was traveling with Elenius Pius, John Grammaticus, and all them, when they end up close to the throne room, she basically ends up like the one Alpha Legionnaire.
I know you're talking about, yeah, but it's
The Alpha Legionnaire.
There were several named ones, but
he's
the
not
most
Astartes.
No, he's not.
The most well-known one is Ingo Pesh.
There it is.
Okay.
She reads Ingo Pesh's mind, and she's the one that fucking hits him with the code word.
Oh, the
hits him with
was it Omicron or something?
Yeah,
like that?
chaos run rampant.
Yeah,
the one that hits him with that while they're trying to fucking save the Emperor and stop chaos, and then they find out that she's trying to fucking like revamp chaos to a degree.
Yes, and this is where it gets
turned out to be fucking evil, basically.
Well, here's where it gets a little bit fucked. Okay, when it comes to this character in specific, who is, by the way, the person advising the War Master to the dismay of everybody else, because a lot of people fucking hate her, and if it wasn't for Abaddon's basically blessing, she would be dead within a heartbeat. Because I think she's just lying, deceitful, a fucking bitch. Okay,
kind of a going theme with anybody she ends up with.
Exactly, yeah. That being said, it's like if she is Cyrene. First of all, that's a hell of a fucking legacy. Or it could be potentially the fucking Malcador's person. Like, really don't fucking know. But my assumption would be it'd be Cyrene. Because you're not going to build somebody up like Cyrene that much.
Especially with her being that powerful of a psyker.
Yeah. And especially being a seer. And on top of that, the ends for Cyrene during like Sarah's like just walks off.
Yeah. She's a perpetual too.
Yeah.
Find out she's a perpetual because like the book, she literally gets crushed by rocks and she's literally just sitting there fucking suffering because every time like dies, she comes back and she's still under the rocks.
Under a big ass rock. Oh shit.
But then Dorn ends up saving her.
Yep. One of the cool things. What else? The next biggest thing is probably going to be the first Black. We only need to deal with like first and the latest.
I just have 13. I just put.
Yeah. So Abaddon. Now we're going to move into the full Black Legion type stuff. He very quickly gains his retinue because, first of all, he has the vengeful fucking spirit. Yeah. He has a Gloriana class battleship. Very few of those exist. Majority of them are fucked off with the Primarchs and where the fuck they want to go. He can kick ass and take names however the fuck much he wants with that. So he very quickly builds up a following. People love what he's doing. They're like, man. And he gets recruits from everybody, right? So Night Lords, T-Sons, Death Guard, fucking everybody.
Plus he hits them with the, we're going to do this where dad fucked up.
Yeah. The next thing is going to be the first Black Crusade. That's whenever he finally makes his reemergence. The Imperium, who long thought, oh, it's over. The traitors were killed. We can rebuild all this stuff.
Surprise,
motherfucker. And that's whenever Dorn disappears, Sigismund dies, shit gets a little bit fucked.
So where did Dorn go? Did he go get cigarettes?
I almost feel like we either need to play the fucking clip of Sigismund versus fucking...
Oh, yeah. I'll fucking put that in here, yeah.
Need to talk about it because
that's such a good one. But this is another great character moment for Abaddon, because Abaddon, with thanks to Erebus, has agreed to basically go with chaos. That's his entire deal, right?
Right.
So he is firmly chaos. He's not like a Night Lord's kind of just doing my own thing.
Yeah, it was happening in End of the Death.
Yeah, you see a lot of that at the very end, because at the very end, it's an entire discussion between
him and Abaddon, where he's like, need him, otherwise we're not gonna win.
Yeah, funnily enough, fucking Erebus said he would be basically Abaddon's chaplain. He didn't appear in any of the fucking books or anything else. So maybe that disagreement fell out in between books. I don't know. But that being said, this entire approach, because even after he kills Sigismund, he returns the body. Now, there's two parts of this, as I explained. Okay. First part is to kind of the Imperium know we're back, motherfuckers, and we just killed one of your greatest champions. First of all, hell of a fucking morale hit. Second thing is going to be he's still respected Sigismund as a warrior. So we're talking about the control with the chaos, right?
Right.
So where it's not some slathering world eater, it's not some disgusting Nurglade or some shit. It's going to be as a human who follows chaos and I'm in control, I am sending you this back to know that, first of all, this is not like you've dealt with before. You dealt with chaos, get ready for fucking chaos. And as such, he goes through the 13 Black Crusades, leading up to 13th.
Which we all thought were just big L's for Abaddon for the longest time.
But psych, it wasn't.
Until the fall of Cadia, when it wasn't.
Yeah. Here's a little bit
What are you talking about? Cadia stands.
Yeah, us.
Yes.
And a million pieces. Yeah.
Stands over there.
Hey,
over
there.
there.
If you want to traumatize a guard player, fucking pick up a patch of fucking dirt and show it to him like you don't recognize Cadia.
That's when you play Cadia, not when you play Krieg.
Yeah, I know. It's so funny though. But that being said, it's talking meta. We got to talk about some meta for a little bit.
Kriegsmen see the dust and they they were just doing their due diligence for the Emperor. You're
Next, have fun.
Bombardment!
Quick. But one of the biggest things is that in meta, the entire thing about the Black Crusades was simply, he's just been pushed back several times. Quite frankly, there was no overarching narrative to why these crusades were happening. Aside from, he shows up, he's beat back. He shows up, he's beat back.
But then GW did the best retcon.
It was a very good retcon, I do agree. Where apparently Abaddon becomes aware of various pylons throughout the galaxy that were left behind by the Necrontyr, and they were kind of warped shut. So, okay, whenever he went over and kind of disabled these pylons and fucking destroyed them, whatever the fuck else he did with them, stuff like that, basically turned them off.
For those of you that don't understand these pylons, if you have, which most of you probably have, especially if you're new and just getting into this, Space Marine 2.
Yeah,
Space Marine 2 is it shows essentially another pylon that has been destroyed, or what was it destroyed? No, it wasn't destroyed. They flipped it back. The dude flipped it back. Yeah,
the obelisk and twist it. Yeah.
Grab his obelisk and twist it.
That was the biggest.
Twist that obelisk.
This was one of the biggest what the fuck moments in the game. Real quick, it's because you had you have fucking Chiron with the augmetic arm.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, you had the other guy, the K-pop star, who was fucking Gladriel, and he's fucking twisting it with his arm, and then you have get the guy with the robot arm to do it.
It wouldn't hurt.
Yeah. And eventually that does happen, but it was just kind of like funny.
But yes, that's actually a visual representation of a Necron pylon at work.
Indeed.
So there's a big huge. Oh god, I want to read that. That's on my list. I have to read Fall Acadia.
Yeah. I'm saying because from what I've heard, it's not very well cool book, but it's not very well written. It's just kind of
really.
Yeah.
Who wrote it?
I've heard. I don't fucking know. The entire Rising Storm. Here's the deal with the Rising Storm and the Fall of Cadia. The entire fucking 8th edition type stuff, the big stuff. I've heard it was a book. When it comes to the actual writing of it, it was kind of like, that's what I've heard.
I just wanted to hear about good old fucking Scanar fucking Creed.
This new Creed. Fuck this shit.
Since the first Fall of Cadia, there's always been a woman Creed.
Always been a female Creed. I just don't get it. The biggest thing I hate is at least bring somebody else in. It doesn't have to be, here's the daughter of Creed. It's like your character dies in D&D. It's like, here's the son of my last character. It's the exact same as every way, except this one difference.
But I can respect, in a female character, but obviously we can't bring in a female Space Marine. Apparently now we can bring in female custodians. But to bring in a strong female character, if you're going to do it that way, by God, I'll accept it. I can accept
lore,
it.
Man. It's like the Votan. Yeah. I think she has even one book out. That's it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, not even one.
Basically has tidbits and whatnot. I'm the daughter of fucking the original Lord Castellan Creed.
So if you have the descendant of somebody who's already proven character, they have to prove themselves even more to where it's not just that's just so and so's son.
But I get it. Lord Solar Leontis just got a book.
Did he?
Yeah.
He did.
Yeah, he or just now getting a book.
Yeah.
Where he's having to fight off orc infestation.
So the Fall of Cadia is a series of books, correct? They're all written
I should say the Rising Storm. I think Fall of Cadia may just be one book.
Because I think looked for Fall of Cadia, and I'm getting Cadia series, which is
I'm probably just
Cadia
literally
stands.
every book of Cadia fighting off a chaos infestation.
Yeah,
for
Cadia Stands, Cadian Honor, and Traitor Rock, which is Cadia Book 3. But I'm not seeing a Fall of Cadia actual book.
I don't know. I ain't too
Gathering
concerned
Storm
about
1, The Fall of Cadia. Okay, see.
Oh yeah, it's the Gathering Storm series.
it. It's probably just book in that series. Those books are something. It's interesting because if you look into it, you see that Harlequins were responsible for 100% of what happened in that book. No joke.
Harlequins were also halfway. Well, they were predicting what because there was it End of the Death Volume 3.
Oh yeah, well, yeah.
In the beginning, they're having like
yeah.
gathering of the
Yeah.
Eldar, and the fucking the Drakari walks up to the dude and is like, "That's not the same dance."
Yeah.
And they're like, "What? How do you know?" And he's like, "Well, if you guys would come to Kamarog,
Shit.
where we would extend all of the diplomacy that you guys offer us, we have the same dance. They do come to Kamarog too. Like,
See, there's like rape whistles blowing in the back.
all
The
pop
red
up.
flags. Yeah.
Gathering Storm Fall of Cadia is a campaign supplement for 7th edition 40k.
hold on,
It's
there's
the
an
first
actual.
part of the Gathering Storm series. Because it's Fall of Cadia, Fracture of Bealtan, and Rise of the Primarch are apparently the books.
Yeah. Okay. Something else we gotta mention. Black Legion. I've been in fucking everything. Okay. The Ultramarines, they're like the poster boys for chaos. So that being said, they've been involved in every fucking way in every single goddamn
It's written
war
by
zone
Robert
imaginable.
Rath.
Wait, seriously? Well, no, the actual book. No, because that's the new book. That came out relatively. Yeah, no, they came out relatively recently. Yeah.
Is
yeah.
that not the same book?
I think they just like. No, it's not the same book. They did something, but it was like look back.
Is
I
it
wanna say.
Cadia Stands?
I don't fucking know, man.
No, that's what
Creed,
I'm saying, 'cause-
Ashes of Cadia?
There's a lot of books. We'll figure it out later.
Yeah, say because some of
Is
them
it
are
the
written-
Caiaphas Cain anthology?
Probably. Yeah.
I actually have that fucking.
Dude, it's good, man.
I have that anthology on Audible.
Is that like the actual books too? Or
Yeah.
is
Yeah,
it
it's all his like.
or is it
in
just like
series.
the short
He's-
stories that go with it?
Well, Caiaphas Cain technically is always like quote unquote short stories, but the books compile 3 or 4 of the short stories into one book.
Actual book.
Because there's no feature length Caiaphas Cain. It's all, oh, here's a 3-4 hour thing, and then you bundle a few of them together, you get the full 12-hour book. They're all exceptionally good, though. Exceptional. And also funny as fuck. Yeah, that's good.
What's that?
But the biggest part is, one of the biggest differences between Horus and Abaddon is that Horus was very quick, and he wanted to rush stuff.
What
okay?
season do you think Cadia loves most? Fall?
Pumpkin spice. Come grab your pumpkin spice. But Horus was very quick when it came to basically trying to decapitate the snake, so to say. His entire battle plan, Horus Heresy, it was, oh shit, it's a war. You know what we're going to do? We're going to fucking beeline straight to Terra. And we're going to just take everything in our way. That's it. That left a lot of fucking openings in his actual fucking routes, his battle plans, everything else. And at the end, it was his doom. Because he didn't take care of everything else before Terra. He let Gilliman, Lion, and Russ potentially come up his fucking ass.
Right.
That being said, Abaddon took the different route. That's why it's called the Long War. Because it's been going on for so long, but also it's a very long-scale project.
Right.
Abaddon's not worried about when this will be complete as long as it is complete.
Right.
So-
Exactly.
That's why over 10,000 years it's been like, oh, do a strike over here, turn off that pylon, and suddenly 13th Black Crusade, he finally goes around and fucking does it, and he completes his main task of splitting the galaxy into 2.
That's enter the Cicatrix Maledictum.
The sucker dicks maledictum. Molly dicked the shit out of that dude.
So fun fact, during that time, he basically did a Black Legion assassination strike against Terra. But he was actually trying to kill Terra by itself. Because what he was basically trying to do is he actually had fucking ships while 13th Black Crusade was going on to the warplanes around Terra, and they were fucking in reserve. And when the warp storm initially happened, it cut off a lot of stuff, even in Imperium Sanctus, the bottom part of the galaxy where Terra is, that's not cut off, so to say. What they were trying to do is that temporarily they were cut off from fucking everywhere due to the storm. Terra cannot receive communication in or out for fucking months. But
As
that,
I remember this happening last time.
we're kind of fucked up, Chief. But that being said, he had these ships, and what they were going to do is they're going to drop new pylons and turn them on to shut off all the warp in that area and basically isolate Terra, so that way Terra would basically implode.
This is where they start, because I've got it written down where they start using Blackstone to cut
Yeah.
Imperial routes away from.
Exactly. So they very much started weaponizing Blackstone against the Imperium. Because when you got a planet specifically like Terra, or perhaps another hive world, if all these planets are highly...
Is this the same stuff that fucking Moriana's talking to the... Because Moriana goes on her mission after she talks to Dorn about, I've got to go get help for everybody. And she's talking to him about, well, we just can't drag an artillery fucking division basically down here. And she talks about the Blackstone, and she's like, the Blackstone?
She was talking about it. It never got used, but she was talking about it.
But so the Blackstone, like the prison, because the prison is called the Blackstone.
Yeah, the Blackstone
Yeah.
Fortress.
So they have An entire prison
Yep.
made out of blackstone.
Presumably, 99%, yes, all but confirmed. Now, it's called the Blackstone Prison. People with psychic powers, it can be shut off whenever they're inside the Blackstone Prison. If it looks like Blackstone, it smells like Blackstone, it tastes like Blackstone, it acts like Blackstone, it's probably Blackstone. And odds are the name's not just a coincidence.
So that's where the Space Skaven are coming through. We found warpstone.
Exactly. Oh, God. That'd be horrifying. So long
Oh
story
god,
short,
a massive Skaven infestation on
Yeah.
Terra.
I see the point where they're like, well, if Skaven in 40k is just the Imperial Guards, but the Skaven are a bit more suicidal than that when it comes to weaponry, and I know
It's literally just having fucking an
Guard
entire
have
guard squad with overcharged plasma rifles.
I mean,
It's
fair
like
enough
Guard
on
have
that.
accidents.
Fair
but
enough, fair
Skaven are the accidents.
Do you think that would be all of Skaven weaponry would just be fucking plasma guns, but surprise, you have to overcharge whenever you shoot them?
Some weapons, maybe. I don't think all. Just because they still have some guys like spears or something like rusty knives. Just because you don't get access to the good guns unless you're worthy.
Right. Other than this, I don't have anything until
Okay.
Enter Vashtor.
Well, I'll lead up to
Unless-
Vashtor and summarize the rest of this real quick. So, whenever the Cicatrix Maledictum went off, the entire northern half of the Imperium is now Imperium Nihilus, and it's basically a free-for-all state. The Imperium, confirmed, no longer has control over Imperium Nihilus. You still have very large Imperial pockets. The Imperium still exists over there, but it's not, the entire northern half of the galaxy is no longer controlled Imperial space.
All I can
Okay.
think of is the meme where it says, what is it? What's the other what's the other segment?
Sanctum.
You've got Imperium Sanctum and you've got Gilliman doing all of his hoity-toity, I've got to do this, I've got to do that. And then it shows the picture of fucking Imperium Nihilus and it's fucking, it's the lion with his shirt off and he's got the tattoos on and
Yeah, it's like,
everything and
I mean-
scars all over his face and it's just him beating the shit out of fucking demons.
Gilliman's taking care of, I guess we say, Imperium proper. Upon Lionel Johnson's return, his entire thing is he's basically gathering all the clumps of the in Imperium Nihilus and banding them together, saying, come on, guys, we can get through this. But it's in that, it's all fucking Mad Max. And only then, upon the success of this plan, did Abaddon take on the title of War Master. So he is
Well,
now
I
officially,
fucking did it.
he's like, I actually got a good fucking progress. I'll now take up the title.
Look look at him, look at me, Dad. You got the Ruin Storm. I fucking split the galaxy in two. Fuck you.
What else, ship? But yeah, so once again, Abaddon's finally doing shit. He's finally fulfilling the role of War Master, and that's going on. During that time, he's done a few different things, such as the Battle of Vigilis, a few more hiccups with yada yada. Seems like he's been looking into the Primaris project, trying to see what the fuck they can do about that. That's where Fabius Battle's getting involved. But also, it's a big iffy about what's going on because we don't have a clear answer from GW or any books yet.
And we still don't have any Primaris fucking Traitor Marines.
Correct. So the next thing we're seeing right now is that Gilman's taking care of, right now in lore, the Pariah Nexus. And for 2 editions now, he's been going off to face the Silent King, and we're going to see what the fuck happens there. Belisarius' call has all been about how can we reverse the Great Rift, right? So Call's doing a lot of fucking shutting this down, doing what's going on, and it's all with the blessing of Gilliman.
Right.
But also in Space Marine 2 is whenever they're talking about why can't we just nuke this from orbit, stuff like that. Something interesting, and this is how we're going to tie this into Space Marine 2 so we can get some clicks. But in Space Marine 2, they talk about Project Aurora, right?
Yeah.
Project Aurora is the Necrons, and specifically also a giant fucking monolith of Blackstone, what Call has been researching.
Right.
And in one of the dialogues the NPCs say whenever you're on the battle bar, just saying, why can't we just exterminate us? They say, well, orders straight up from the Primarch. We can't fucking contest it. We can't do that shit. And then later it's the AdMech just playing with basically shutting off the warp using Blackstone. And that's when the Zinj corruption comes in and they alter the polarization to where it's spewing warp stuff instead of shutting it down. So, fun fact, the entire Space Marine 2 thing is because Gilliman and Call are working on trying to fine-tune Blackstone to shut down the Cicatrix Maledictum.
I never even put those two together.
Yeah, so it actually kind of ties in. Because, reminder, one of the big things that happens in the very last episode, fucking chapter of the game, when the Great Warp Rift breaks out is because they say, well, why can't we just destroy this from orbit? And the captain, he actually goes around and says, we can't because it's a tomb world. I like to avoid that if possible. When the fuck? Which I understand that, but that doesn't feel right. Oh, we got a giant fucking demonic incursion on this world that's going to threaten the entire segmentum. What the fuck's going on? Why can't we just blow up this fucking tomb world? Well, it's not going to be nice when it comes to the honors, the people who are laid to rest there, the former Space Marines, yada yada. But more than likely, if I had to guess, Captain Acheron was saying that because Gilliman prioritized Project Aurora, because that's what the fuck they were experimenting with, was the
Right.
Blackstone. So if you replay that game or look through it again, you're like, oh.
If you look at Archer, what is it, Captain Archeron? He's actually modeled after, I think it's a captain in Phobos
Yep,
armor.
he is. It's one of the cool things because every single they're shown in the Ultramarines colors whenever they're shown off, and technically they are linked up to named Ultramarine characters. If you want to delve deep into it, because every once in a while they'll say, "Hey, here's the captain of this company," and they'll fucking release those informations in various codexes, books, yada yada, and then it's kind of cool. They put names on stuff. But that leads us to what you
Captain
were saying.
Acheron is secretly a space wolf. He's got the accent.
God.
There's no hiding the accent.
He's got the
He's Scottish, kill him quick.
but it makes sense because McCrag.
Actually,
McCrag is.
oh god, are the Ultramarines just Irish?
I could see Scott Roman.
Scott
Well,
Roman.
Fucking, they're Irish. They're Hispanic. They're fucking
That's kind
Irish.
of more of a distinction than that, because there's Scott Roman, and then almost World Eaters are more like Scott Greek, so to say. Not Scott, fucking Roman Greek.
Probably.
That type of stuff.
I would point at them. But then you have fucking.
No, the
You
world,
get-
because you have Karn and they voice him almost like an Arab.
Well, you have
Roman Middle East, when they control like all the way up to the
I
Iran
see.
area.
I see Ultramarines almost as like cultural aspect of Rome.
Yeah.
World Eaters, you have like gladiatorial aspect.
World
of
Eaters
Rome.
are like Roman Carthaginians,
Yeah, I can see that.
like on the Alexander the Great type dudes.
Yeah. Like Republic type time frame.
Right.
Yeah. And then
I
probably
mean, you have a lot of Roman-esque, because you also have fucking the Blood Angels, and they have that almost like period Rome.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. Yeah. Period, like Italy.
I would
Feedback
say
to Rome.
I would point them to almost actually fucking, if you really think about it, I'd point Blood Angels almost more towards like
Renaissance Italy than specifically like
right.
And then you have your Iron Warriors who are obviously Greek as fuck.
Yeah.
They're more like your Roman Catholic aspect
You
of
know,
it
with the high, well, also, I was almost say more like the
death
the
masks
actual
and the angel wings and you know.
yeah stuff. But long story short, that's what he's been up to. A few other notable characters that kind of come out, which that's like Roll Claimer, who has done jack shit after fucking Vigilance. Thanks.
But he claimed the world.
I won. Yeah.
And-
Biggest thing, Abaddon's taking fucking dubs. That's been the biggest complaint for the longest time up until like Black Crusade was that, hey, Abaddon shows up and he fucking loses. Saturday morning cartoon villain. He's winning like a scary amount of times. Yeah.
Even
Why
his
do-
losses are turning into wins.
Yeah.
If you think about it, he can lose a battle there, but he still dwindled down their defenses, their manpower, probably their resources.
Yeah.
Even if he lost that battle, he's still
But so then
Fuck him
after
up.
this,
Well, actually, something before you, I just remember this. We got to mention this. Also, during the time when he was guys and basically building up his forces,
yeah.
he also got several Primarchs to basically side with him and kind of his lead when it comes to what he's doing. He got fucking, who was it? It was Magnus. I want to say Mortarion, but I could be wrong.
I'm not entirely sure.
For
I
now,
know
we'll
not
stick with
Angron.
Magnus.
Angron's over in fucking
Yeah,
Nihilism.
nobody's talking with Angron.
Angron's doing his own thing. Even his guys are like
Maybe Magnus, Fulgrim, and Mortarion.
Possibly, yeah.
I can see Fulgrim for sure, because Fulgrim kind of like does his own thing, but if it aligns with what he's already doing, then he'll help out or he'll go along with it.
He just wants it for who can I fuck?
Pretty much, yeah. Who can I fight and who can I fuck? And if I can do both,
Either way,
you.
I'm getting naked.
exactly.
Oh, wait, okay. Let's stop doing some research real quick. So, long story short, this is from an old Black Legion Codex supplement. I'm just reading this off online. So, just for my own preference. So, apparently during the Centuries of Exile, Abaddon visited all 6 Demon Primarchs. And then also turned their aid for his quest to destroy
All 6
all
demon Primarchs,
6. Yes. So, in that case, Angron, he got the favor of Khorne.
They said demons, not traitors.
huh?
I'm just reading off what this guy
he said
says.
demon Primarchs.
This is something I'm personally very unfamiliar with in regards to the Primarchs, whose Primarchs he dealt with. God,
So I would assume it'd be the 4 monos.
and then also, well, it's including Lorgar, and then it's including Perturabo, but also
Right.
take that part with a grain of salt, because is he not? According to lore, he is.
I'm just
But-
saying 6 Primarchs, like demon Primarchs, and it would have to be Lorgar and Perturabo.
Yeah, but it was the
But
4
the-
mono god, then it was
that would,
Lorgar,
but
and it
then
was
that would also
Perturabo.
be assuming that fucking Perturabo is in fact a demon Primarch.
Again, to be
mean,
fair,
It's the wording.
well, to be
exactly.
fair, the wording, because the wording is correct, because the last thing, the official lore we got, which has been a while ago for Perturabo, the recent stuff, but in regards to
Because
him being a demon.
because I know we had the lore tidbit about fucking what is it, Lorgar's.
Yeah, Borax.
Yeah,
all that.
Lorgar, but Lorgar's actually a fucking demon Primarch.
Yeah, he is.
He's been fully corrupted to chaos.
Yeah.
Was
Last
there
thing we
anything
heard
on
is that
Perturabo?
Perturabo did ascend. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah. People don't like this because it's kind of contrary to how he was during.
Siege.
Yeah. Well, it's highly contested. We'll see if they kind of retcon / change that, but
He didn't. Okay, so did he ascend in the normal way of like way Mortarion, Magnus, Angron, all them fucking did, or did he ascend in a sense of his
I mean,
himself?
because
supposedly.
technically
They
he
put
had
him
an
in an
ascension
engine.
once,
Well-
because during Siege of Terra he was more armed and he was a whole lot more.
he had changed, but it wasn't that.
it wasn't a
that.
chaos, but
This is
like,
what it boils down to: is that at the end of the Iron Cage, with all like gathered Imperial Fist gene seed, he used that as a sacrifice to basically elevate himself to demonhood. That's
Right.
what, written in canon in lore right now. That's what happened.
Right.
Okay. That being said, that's told through. It's not like a book that directly went over it. We hear from Perturabo's point of view. We see what fucking happens. We don't fucking know.
right,
It was
it's
just a
some
little
like
tidbit.
codex fucking
Yeah,
tidbit.
so they could very easily rule that as, oh, well, that was somebody who was mistaken. And perhaps his demonic nature is just him augmenting himself or something else happened. Who fucking knows? But the point is, when we consider stuff demonic Primarch or not demonic, he does count. At least for
Yeah.
right now. Yeah.
Didn't he like himself into a fucking siege engine basically?
We don't know. We just know demonic Perturabo.
However, with this next part coming in, because now enters a new demon prince.
Ooh, the spicy one.
A new demon prince who's up and coming and looking to become another chaos god.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly how all this happens.
Everybody welcome the Great Horned Rat. Come on in. No.
but yes. So Vashtor comes in, and he comes in a real weird way too.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, he comes in after Vigilus, but he comes in as basically like Toad on the ship.
He also literally came in because he was summoned by, this is the funniest shit to me. It was after the Vengeful Spear was so fucking harmed that they were doing major repairs on it. And when they're doing that, several tech priests were like, we're not going to be able to finish this on time unless we fucking cut some corners. And corner was like a demon to help them. But when they did that, that was Vashtor. And Vashtor's like, hey, surprise, motherfuckers. Yeah.
Here, you called me.
Yeah,
And his
exactly.
big thing is he runs the Hell Forge, I think it is. He's like charge of the forge for all the demons.
Yes. For context, there's some conflicting lore on this because in the realm of chaos, there's something known as the Hellforge, and the Hellforge is a location that basically produces all these demon engines, stuff like that, everything else. And this is a different thing from how like legions, like the Iron Warriors, could make demon engines. Okay, this is like actual produced in country demonic stuff. Okay, in fantasy, supposedly that was a mutual spot for the Chaos Gods. Because none of them can make a move on it, because if they did, then they could be shut out of there and they could no longer fuel their legions with that machine. It was like a mutual fucking pot they all dragged from. And supposedly there's a lot of Chaos Dwarf influence for fantasy, and also fucking technically Be'lakor was involved.
Korn's coming in to take fucking weapons, and Vashtor's just beating him off with the hammer.
Well, yeah, but yeah. Now suddenly with Vashtor, supposedly he's in charge of that. And he's the guy who's basically being the arms producer for Chaos. And in fact, he's done a lot of deals with Perturabo when it comes to demon engines and that type of stuff. And that's actually most recent lore mention of Perturabo is with Vashtor.
Huh. So they do this weird animation, which is how they kind of Vashtor, where fucking Abaddon's standing on the Vengeful Spirit, and all of a sudden, like, it's all staticky, and he just keeps saying, like,
It was something like that. I mainly remember because the engine seers who were in front of him, basically, they kind of explode into fucking strings of meat and stuff, and then loose mechanical stuff on the ground, and their engine seer meat gets fucking combined into Vashtor. So if you look at the model, that's what that is. That's basically
Just
decayed meat,
exploded.
and tech priests, along with some cogs and wheels and shit like that. Yeah,
he does have a dope model.
he does.
That's
I love
probably
the
that's
model.
probably one of like best demon models.
If only
I've
he
seen.
was good on tabletop.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
you're
was
never
good.
going to be a chaos god at this rate without fucking 3 up to hit or some whatever the fuck he's
He
got.
was good in fucking what was it, 9th?
No, not really. No.
I thought he was like
He's
halfway. decent.
not as bad. It wasn't as bad as 10th, but also it's just kind of like he was
Then
super
again,
mid.
a lot of things weren't as bad as 10th.
That's very
wasn't.
true.
It wasn't one of those where you were like, "Oh shit, Vashtor's on the." Fucking...
Yeah, it was like, oh, I'm gonna spend 300 points for a demigod to be on the fucking table. It's like I'm gonna save that 300 points and buy a big fucking vehicle, and you get way more use out of it. Yeah.
But the Vashtor that reveals the Arcs of Omen.
Yes.
What are those?
Okay. So the entire
This is
thing.
where I stopped.
The
'cause-
entire thing about the Arcs of Omen is that basically fucking Vashtor shows up, looks at Abaddon, says, Abaddon, we have to cook, Abaddon. Get in here. Abaddon says, bitchin', and they hop in a fucking 95 Corolla and they fucking tear down the highway. But that being
Not canon, but then again, everything.
canon, don't worry
All
about
right.
it.
So there's a Corolla in,
But,
in
yeah.
year 40.
Story
It was
short,
a Gloriana class Corolla.
but
Fuck yeah.
unironically,
Toyotas are indestructible.
it's so fucking
they
stupid.
rolled the top back on the Vengeful Spirit and took off.
example I give between Abaddon and Vashtor is a fucking Walter White and Jesse fucking situation. Ironically, where half the time I'm actually better.
It's
They're
almost
actually
in Loathing in Las Vegas.
potentially, yeah,
We were 98 miles out of Terra, and that's when the LSD took hit.
yeah, pretty much.
You see those bats?
We can't stop here. This is Tyrannid country.
But what ends up happening is Vashtor's like, "Let me cook," and Abaddon says, "Bet," and fucking just high fives him. At this point, Vashtor supposedly has, I got the super secret thing. What is it? Ooh, but we have to find these different special things to toss into a pot so we can make this other thing. And Abaddon's like, how do I know you're not going to betray me? And Vashtor's like, trust me, bro. And Abaddon's like, cool, sweet, let's go.
So did Vashtor really just fucking initiate a side quest?
Yeah.
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 Jesus
It
Christ.
actually ended up being the main quest because after that, Abaddon's found new ways to obviously kill the
Yeah,
Imperium.
because when
Right.
Yeah.
the whole 9th edition Arcs of Omen happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's all Abaddon going around and fucking finding the ingredients needed to make what we're going to call the key. Okay. And at the point, the Arcs of Omen were simply ways to basically gather the keys. Vashtor would go around, basically find a giant face Hulk, use his, breed to kind of up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the funniest shit is Abaddon just like created an Arc of Omen. He turned to everybody and put out an announcement saying, hey, I have an Arc of Omen. Whoever gets there first wins. And then all these war bands would rush into an Arc of Omen, and the strongest one would win, kill the others, and command the Arc. And they would follow Abaddon's orders. Yeah.
Huh.
But the entire point of the Arcs of Omen was that whenever they found a key, there was a special, basically, teleportarium inside the Arcs that they're supposed to place it into, and it would be teleported straight to Vashtor. So the Arcs themselves aren't special. They're just like big fuck-off Orc-style fucking warships. What's special is the fact that they were all sent out saying, Arc A, go to this location. We got like pieces we need to pick up, and out of those 100, we need to get at least like 51 of them for this to work, right? So sometimes they were stopped, sometimes they went through, but what ended up happening is that they actually got enough, I guess we say, ingredients to make the key. And at the very end, what we find out is that that key gives them the ability to create new webway portals, which is insane. So, reminder, there's at least a couple webway gates on Terra.
Active still.
Still, not just the one the Emperor's kind of right now. There's active webway portals. Yeah. And on top of that, that would chaos the ability to strike fucking anywhere.
I could see there being webway portals like active because think about the fucking Eldar. They're around for fucking centuries and shit. So I'm pretty and mostly seers. So they're probably like, hey, we should probably keep this here just in case there's some shit gonna be happening.
Yeah.
Here.
There was one time when the Harlequins were trying to reach a message to the Emperor, and they got on Terra, and when they were like asked to get on Terra, they said, well, there's a webway gate. Dumbass. And that sound like
We made a door.
yeah, they know all the webway exits. Even Chaos does not know all the exits. So there's an active webway portal on Terra that nobody can fucking find. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chaos. Yeah.
Where it could be.
Dun, dun, dun.
And where they completely
Is that a
stopped with all
Bucky's
that.
urinal?
Yeah, so it is. You're
And then that's where they stopped with that, and then they were like, okay, we're back to the Tyrannid invasion, back to Leviathan.
Everybody ignore everything that's going on. Oh, look.
Oh, look, Pariah Nexus. Oh.
great swarm is coming. Great devourer and such.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
so let's view like the ending shit going on right now for shits and giggles. We have Abaddon, okay. He has the key. Who now has the key?
Now has a key that can activate webway portals.
Yep. Then I have the Necrons.
Yeah,
that are-
Necrons are waking up.
They're expanding their influence, and they're Gilman's actively having to fight them. We also now have the Tyranids
Tyranids coming from the east and the west.
and the West. We now have Gaz,
Who
who's
is
now in
leading
charge.
the biggest wog since the fucking beast.
Yeah.
But of there being 7 of them, there is only one orc that's leading the biggest wog.
Yeah. And the Eldar being the Eldar and the fucking Tau, who gives a shit?
Yeah,
So,
who
yeah.
gives a fuck
Who
about
gives a
Tau?
shit?
Yeah, nobody.
So yeah, shit's
except for
kinda
like,
fucked
except for
up,
like
boys.
Farce, who has a fucking demon blade.
Oh, yeah, except for him.
Yeah, that's Farsight. Yeah.
But so what else do you want to talk about Vashtor?
I don't know shit about Vashtor.
A few, I mean, this episode, we'll delve into it real quick. So for context, Abaddon will not work with a lot of people. Okay, it's very, very much you serve me. The people on his playing field are very either powerful in their own regard or they offer something. Okay. That's not the big deal. He'll go up to a fucking demon Primarch, fucking kick him in the nuts, say, serve me, bitch, and then it fucking works out. But when it comes to like maybe a human who has something to offer, he's like, yeah, stand by side, fucking do it. Same deal with, again, going back to Moriana. Moriana, the fucking personal steer for Abaddon. Advising Abaddon as an advisor. Who else is an advisor to fucking Abaddon? Nobody.
Nobody.
Well, I mean, technically, he does have his retinue, but for the most part, nobody. So that's from very, very select people. Okay. He going around and saying, this is my long war, and this is our long war, and we've been too fraught down with internal bickering, infighting, fighting that don't fucking matter for the gods. We need to go and basically kick the Imperialist ass, and, we failed 10,000 years ago. And end of the day, that's the big difference between the Black Legion and Sons of Horus. Sons of Horus was one unified force that went around and fucking fought one unified goal and all that stuff, but they devolved. Devolving into feral war bands, and they got basically put down like a rabid dog. Black Legion is saying, we don't care who the fuck you're from. We are basically a co-op club of, if you want to be in here, get in here, but here's our one fucking goal. And may the strongest survive. God bless. Good night. Amen. Yeah.
Good luck, Godspeed.
Exactly.
God's speed.
Thank God.
Yeah. That's what you did there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Legion is not Sons of Horus.
The
Eh.
Black Sons of
Close
Horus
enough.
is Legion.
Flip
Those
my
are
Abaddon.
existence.
Same thing. Oh, thank God.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
that's pretty much it for those assholes, isn't it?
Yep.
'Cause,
I'm sure that's everything on Black Legion. Fuck.
There's a lot, once again, with all the legions, there's a lot more we can say, especially with Black Legion, because we
But
want to
we
go
would-
through every single codex and every single thing.
We would be sitting here for 8-hour
Days,
episodes.
Dude, days.
This is enough for a Legion overview.
Yeah, so I'll leave us off with this. Because obviously this stuff that we don't have time to cover, what is your favorite piece of Black Legion lore? Or Sons of Horus lore? Like, what's your favorite piece of lore about them that we did not mention that you're like, hey, they did this? Put that in the comments. Let us know. The best one's going to be pinned by us.
Yeah, because there's a lot. I mean, this is the Legion that literally kicked off everything. Like, so
It
and
kicked
even-
everything and is still kicking off.
Yeah.
exactly.
Well,
even 10,000 years later.
Not if you talk to Stepbro, because they're not the same.
I mean, they're the same.
Oh, look at you bobbing your head like you're about to say they're the same.
No, I'm about to say that. No, I was about to say they aren't the same, but you could make an argument they're like the successor to a degree, but even then that's not fully accurate. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter too much. But no, it's not. They are a new group. They are not the continuation of the old group. It's a new group. Just the chief officer happens to be from that old group. That's it.
It's like a whole new band, but there's a lead singer from this old
It's
band.
the Van Hagar to the Van Halen.
Yeah, there we go. It's Van Hagar
Gotcha.
of Abaddon.
There we go. So,
Oh,
we all feel good about that?
Yeah, actually, that we're done, but I don't feel good about this next episode that we got to do. So
Neither do I.
I'm
It's
gonna
okay.
get drunk again. I didn't really actually get too drunk right now, but I was tipsy for this episode.
Fine, it's got a little food
I may have to
tipsiness.
buy me a weed vape for for next episode because I'm probably gonna be chiefing on that.
I
thing.
may still have my gas mask from when I was that big of a pothead, so you are more than welcome to use it if you need it.
I may just do that. I may gas mask myself up.
Just Krieg it up, son.
Guys, that's the secret of the Krieg. They're just fucking boofed on fucking on Caliban Kush.
They're so stoned they don't know what's going on.
That's what the respirator is. The respirator's just one giant bowl that's just fucking constantly burning.
Material
Yep.
issue. I mean, God damn it.
The only reason they keep going. That's all it is.
Oh. But yeah, so follow the Discord. Follow all the social media.
Down, so I think we have one thing left to say.
Fuck it, we
Oh,
Fuck. Okay, we
gotta be extra with that one.